Hello everyone! Today, I'm excited to share all the recent progress in the Sluggers modding scene. I've featured a few mods in the past, namely the stat editor, custom textures, and a few custom stadiums. These mods have gotten tons of use, so I hope that sharing the recent progress will build hype and motivate people to work more on them. I'll start by explaining a few important mods that have been around for a while, made by Llama Trauma. There's the stat editor and the .dat folder extractor, both of which have been invaluable to content creation and game exploration. The stat editor has been used by our channel, as well as CPU leagues like the Accolade Sluggers Association, to make more interesting matchups.
No one's bobbling anything. Please get out! Oh my god!
Good context start dinger. Holy crap.
Dude.
And the .dat extractor has enabled us to extract assets directly from the game's code, like all the textures and models. So the first new mod I'll talk about is a new stat editor. Philinarian has created a stat editor with added functionality, flexibility, and with some errors fixed from the previous version. You can see here the chemistry tab, stat editing, and stat randomizer. The new feature that I find the most useful is the option to pick a team and give them all chemistry with each other. Generating a code to give every character in the game chemistry with each other would be way too long, but for 9 players it's just short enough to add to your codes list. It does require Python to run, but there's instructions in the README in the Google Drive folder. So if you need a quicker option or don't have Python, then luckily you can still use Llama's version. Philinarian has also done a lot of work recently on searching through the Mario Sluggers memory, and has made a couple discoveries. How to adjust things like trajectory classes, the curve of a swing, and star pitches. He's also located memory addresses for a ton of things as well, which is chronicled in a spreadsheet in the datamine stat folder in the shared Google Drive. He's also made a nicer version of our good and bad chemistry charts. A couple others have been working through the memory addresses lately as well. The Fun Guy and Zpocalypse found out how to give normal characters Captain Star Swings, which produced some incredible results. My favorite one is Boomerang Bro with Mario Star Swing. It looks so cool and natural, almost like they planned it. Thanks to Zpocalypse for this footage, and for more that we use in a short compilation. Zpocalypse also figured out how to edit the challenge mode missions, and even found some unused ones. On an even deeper level, some people are working on decomposing the game instructions at the hardware level. This seems like a long process, but is vital in our efforts to import custom models into the game. We can't load models or animations until we know where to put them, so I'm glad to see this is being worked on. Jimmy Kazakhstan, a prominent modder who made the mod pack we played on stream a few years ago, recently released a memory patcher for consoles that can generate gecko code and GCT files from memory addresses. I don't really have an idea of its full potential, but I bet it could be helpful in this whole process. Now, I already mentioned the stat editor being used for CPU leagues. It's pretty much the only mod being used now, but there's potential for many more that could improve the experience. At the moment, you can't change the CPU's fielders during the game, but Kircher has identified how that could be changed, and all that needs to be done now is to make a gecko code to allow someone to manually control it during the game. There's also work being done by Houday on a script to auto-pick the teams for CPU leagues, and to prevent the batting order from being randomized. Lots of cool stuff that I bet we'll see implementation in leagues in the near future. Another active modder I want to mention is Master Kirby, who has made tons of gecko codes to do various funny things in the game, including making characters and items mega, invisible characters in Graffiti Run, and making Blooper Base Run last forever if you really want to run up your score. Alright, the final thing I want to show off is all the custom textures that people have made recently. Custom textures are the easiest way to mod the game, so we've seen a bunch of new ones, even just in the last few months. So some of the earliest custom textures for Sluggers were Fire Mario and Luigi, done in 2023 by Gino Penguin. Ribs made the first larger batch of custom characters, with Ice Bro, Rosalina Peach, Waluigi, and others, as well as Blue Bowser's Castle and Red Luigi's Mansion. Recently, he added Hyper Goomba and Hyper Pear Goomba as well. Here's some of my favorites that have come out from others recently. Ship Theory made a really cute pink Diddy from DK Jr. 2, Funky Hitman Kong, Mario with his classic colors, Luigi who looks absolutely incredible, and even Burt Waluigi. Really awesome stuff. Ben Hub 86 also has a ton of high quality textures, including this black Yoshi. I think it's funny because when he first joined the server, he asked me to make a pink version of Diddy who looked like the Smash Bros version, and now he's clearly surpassed my texture editing skills. A couple others I find funny. Dark Monty Mole, Seven Granddad, Fire Wario, Sunshine Bowser Jr., and whatever this is. Also, I myself attempted a Daytime Luigi's Mansion to use for our CPU vs CPU video, but it's not really complete until somebody can help me figure out how to change the lighting. Oh yeah, here's a couple random discoveries. Literally right as I was making the script for the video, the fun guy found out exactly how starring characters affects the slap context size, and it seems to boost it by 50%, which is more than I would have thought. This is the first concrete number that we have for what starring does to any of the stats. I doubt that it would increase, say, hitting power by 50%, but that still remains to be seen. Also, somebody managed to make a pitch bounce off the ground and still count as a strike. Very cool. There are still many things we have to discover and work on, but I'm just so glad there are people who are willing to make mods and discover things about the game just for the fun of it, especially since it's such a tough game to dig into. But I want to reserve this ending for a special shout out to one Gino Penguin. Some gaming communities are lucky enough to have a person who is singularly focused on advancing the game just for the fun of it and because it could be helpful to others. Gino is that person for Mario Sluggers. He's been around since essentially the beginning, back in 2021. He started by extracting the T-pose models of the characters from the game, which we featured on our Twitter page. He then started to find tons of unused content in the game, like the unused stadiums, and made gecko codes to load them in, which we used for some of our videos. He kept going and amassed a treasure trove of discoveries, and if I went through them all, this video would be at over an hour long. They've gotten a lot of views on Super Mario Broth and his own YouTube channel, and our 50 Facts and Iceberg videos would not have been possible without him. But the most amazing part to me is that he's documented every single one of his discoveries and Slugger models online. The cutting room floor is chock full of these tidbits, and it's entirely a solo job. The models resource also has essentially every model in the game, when it had almost none beforehand. It's all done not for recognition or money, but for the love of the game. So thank you, Gino Penguin. We're lucky to have you, and I hope people appreciate you as much as I do. And thank you all for watching. If you'd like to learn more about how to install mods like these, join the Discord link on our channel to find downloads for texture mods, gecko codes, and the custom stadiums. As a quick update, the custom stadiums do have visual glitches in the latest Dolphin versions, so install a version before 2047 if you want to play those. Happy slugging!